Kirsten from Lambie's Nursery, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about how do we afford or save up our money to buy Reborn and Silicone dolls. So last week I talked to you guys about what's the difference between a silicone and a vinyl doll and if silicone vinyl dolls exist. Spoiler alert, silicone vinyl dolls do not exist. They're not a real thing because you can't mix the two together. And I think it was about a month ago, we talked about, is it okay to ask for free dolls? And we decided it's probably not okay to ask somebody, especially somebody you don't know, to give you a free doll. So since we can't ask random strangers on the internet for free dolls, how do we get said dolls? Well, the easy answer is save up your money. But for some people, that's not easy. They don't have jobs, they're teenagers, they have specific life circumstances that prevent them from either having a job, having money, or whatever. So here are some of my suggestions to be able to obtain or afford or save your money up for a Reborn doll. This list is not complete. I'm sure you guys can think of all kinds of other things to do to get Reborn dolls that are okay and legal. So the first way is the completely free route to go, and that is by entering giveaways. All the time here on YouTube and on Instagram, I see Reborn giveaways all the time. I've even done a couple myself, and all you have to do is follow whatever the person's rules are. So for me, I usually put the rules down as you must follow me and you must tag a friend in the comments down below. And if someone doesn't do both, then I don't enter them in the giveaway. Now, if they do both, then I write down their name and I put it in a box. And when it comes time to draw the winner, I shake that box all around and then I pick a winner and I send that person their giveaway item. Lots and lots of people are doing giveaways now. And it's a completely free, or at least pay shipping, or mostly free way to get a free doll. It's pretty cool. But hundreds of people enter giveaways and only one or two people will win that giveaway. So the odds aren't completely in your favor. So what are some other ways that maybe cost money we can try to save our money to afford a Reborn doll? Well, Reborn dolls, as we've talked about before, they cost a lot less than silicone dolls. So Reborn dolls are anywhere from like $200 to $2,000. Whereas silicone dolls usually start at $2,000 and go up and up and up from there. So if we're focused a little bit more on the Reborn doll side and trying to save up just maybe $200, is ask, when it comes towards Christmas and your birthday, if you have family members who are a little bit more generous, such as maybe your parents or your grandparents, aunts, uncles, whatever, ask for money instead of clothes, toys, whatever you would normally ask for. Ask for a little bit of cash and then set that aside. I know that my grandparents give me $50 every Christmas and every birthday. So that's $100 right there. And if my mom and dad did the same thing, within a year, I would have enough money for a Reborn doll. While I know getting side jobs during this pandemic might be a little difficult depending on where you live and how active the virus is where you are, but you can also do side jobs. When I was a teenager, I would go around my grandma's neighborhood and I would landscape for people. I would pull their weeds. I would pull garbage out of their yards. I would move rocks around. I would create these brick sidewalks. At least that's what I did for my parents' house. I did all kinds of landscaping jobs, and while that isn't pretty, my hands became very calloused and rough. It did help me save up money. I think one summer I saved up like $1,000 doing that, and that's a good chunk of money. That could get you almost a silicone doll. Some other things that won't callous your hands and might be more pretty and cool to do might be babysitting. So many people have kids, especially in neighborhoods. Does anyone in your neighborhood have kids? Maybe you could go ask to babysit. And $20 here, $20 there does add up. And that's the whole point of saving money, is that first day when you only get $20 from your job or whatever, it might not seem like a lot of money, but by the time you hit your third job, you've got $60 in the bank. That's pretty cool. You're almost there. You're almost able to get that $200 reborn. How cool is that? And you might have more ideas than I do. Maybe you write music. Maybe you can sell people your songs or something. Okay, I don't know about that. I don't know how to do that. I'm not a singer. But you could do lemonade stands. You could do strawberry stands. You have to be creative with what your talents are and what's around in your area. So, the reason I did so much landscaping as a teenager was because in the neighborhood we lived in, a lot of people just had dirt front yards and backyards, and they wanted more done, or at least they wanted their weeds pulled. So, in that environment that I was in, I had a good job opportunity. So, you might have to get a little more creative and think about your own situation and what's going on in your own life or your neighbors' lives to come up with what job and what money making way works for you. But I know you guys can come up with something. You guys are so, so smart. My next suggestion on how to save up money is more towards those of us who already have your typical job where you pay taxes and you go there every day and it's like a full-time job. It's not just picking weeds sometimes. So, a bit of a story time. When I moved to this new place, it was really unexpected and it was a big surprise. So, I didn't have all the money necessary for me to move from Hawaii to California. There's a lot of money involved in that, especially paying a deposit like to rent a house out here. It was super expensive. And I actually had to sell a few dolls. And even then, I was barely eating and barely getting by. So I had to be really creative. And I have sometimes a bit of a problem of whenever I go to the store, I want to go buy something for either me or the dolls. And buying a $6 pacifier or $20 outfit every single time you go to the store, it really, really adds up. So what Ethan and I started doing, and you can change the system to however works for you. This is what works for us, but I know it won't work for everybody. But what we were doing was for every hour of exercise we did a day, we would get $10 a day. Now, that $10, of course, it was already in our bank because we already had jobs, so we weren't getting paid extra from our jobs to do this exercise, but we were allotting that $10 and saying, this is what we could spend. So by the end of the week, there would be $70 we could spend. And by 2 weeks, that would be $140. And that was our max spending money, was $140 for 2 weeks. And using that system, I was actually able to save quite a bit of money, and I was able to get back on track on where I needed to be. So maybe think about implementing a system like that if you're a little bit of a careless spender like I am. Try and look at those random purchases you make that you might not need to make, such as like a magazine at the store, or a new hair bow, or a new doll outfit you might not necessarily care about. Stuff like that. Really look at those little purchases, because if you add it up, it can sometimes be like $100 or more. And if you're able to cut that out, then that's more money you can put towards getting a new doll. And I'm not going to lie, since social distancing happened in March, I've been really, really implementing that, because we're not going to the movies anymore. We're not going out to the store very often anymore, except a grocery shop. Like, we are not doing anything but staying in the house. So I am not spending very much money. And I have just watched my savings grow and grow and grow, because I am not doing much anymore. I'm not spending much money. I'm not carelessly spending willy-nilly anymore. I'm really just buying groceries, and that's it. And my savings has grown exponentially. So you can do it too. I promise. Like, no matter what situation you are in, you are smart enough and creative enough to be able to find a way to afford what you want, or at least save up the money to get what you want in a year or two. Or it might even be more. I'm not going to lie. There are some people in situations where saving up $200 might be a 5-year venture. But if you really want something, I think it's always worth your while to try to find ways to financially afford that or make financial goals. I guess maybe I'm just wired like that, where I think it's a little bit more fun to find ways to afford my goals. So I wish you guys all the best of luck. I hope I helped some. And try to remember, especially if you're a teenager and you're like, my mommy won't buy me a doll, and that's the worst thing in the whole world. Try to remember that a lot of us out here in the world who do have Reborn, so I guess a lot of us in the Reborn community, we buy our own dolls, and we have to find ways to do that. And I promise you that you can also find ways to afford your own Reborn dolls and save up your money to get your very own. And chances are, at least this is just me and what I was like as a teenager, when I saved my money up to buy something on my very own rather than my parents buying it, I felt so much better. I took better care of it, and I just loved whatever I had bought way more when I bought it. So I wish you guys all the luck, and I hope it works out for you guys. I hope you have a wonderful and safe week, guys. Bye. Like I said in the video, for some people it takes them years and years to be able to afford the Reborn that they want, whether that be just a basic Reborn or like their dream prototype Reborn. And I hope you guys don't feel like I'm knocking that at all, because I actually think it's amazing. Like the dedication and just discipline people have to be able to do that. I think it's amazing. Like, I dream to have like one of those really expensive silicone dolls one day, but I know like I'm not financially there yet, and it might take me years and years to get there, and that's totally okay. I just want all the kids out there to know it took many of us like years to get where we are. I have a lot of dolls now, but when I first started this, I never would have felt like I could ever afford that. It takes a long time to like get your financial goals where you want them, and just to be able to afford this or afford your dream doll and dream collection. So don't give up hope. It might be a few years, but that's okay. That's like the fun of this hobby. Anyways, thank you guys so much for always supporting me. You guys are amazing, and I love you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.